Good morning, good morning, folks. Merry stupid o'clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we get started, folks, a few of the usual disclaimers. Now, folks, the links that I am talking about are more important now than ever they were. The DC Circuit Court has determined that disabled people, well, they're just not really people, you see. They don't deserve protection like the rest of us. No, they have to be controlled by any means necessary. Even if, it means a little torture. After all, they don't have feelings. At least that's what it seems like to me when they decided that they were not going to rehear the case on the FDA ban. So that makes this that much more important because we need to let our federal government know that we will not tolerate the torture, the abuse, the traumatization of a group of people in Canton, Massachusetts, simply because they exist while having a disability, all right? So, first link you are going to see is the link to this new series that we are going over. It's in regards to actually proven in court cases of abuse that happened at the JRC. You are also going to see the templates, folks. Share it like crazy right now. Seriously. People's lives, mental health, and sense of self, the autonomy for people with disabilities is really at stake here because if they're going to legalize it at the JRC, where is going to be next? All right? So click on your senator, fill out your name, okay? Let's end this madness before it takes any more lives. We also have the ever present and self explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. Now, folks, when we speak about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please use your headphones, all right? Also, it is now 3:16 a.m. stupid o'clock in the morning, and I am fired up after the horrendous excuse that the DC Circuit Court calls justice in regards to their decision last week. So if I stumble over any words this morning or just go off on a curse-filled rant, my apologies in advance, all right? Okay, so we're going to where we left off yesterday, and folks, if I reread a paragraph I've already gone over, my apologies, all right? Okay. So, when the room became dark, those involved testified that the half-light was switched off. Neither ALAB1 nor I5 reported noticing this as it occurred. I6 stated that he was not focused on ALV and her behavior. He stated he was still able to see clearly enough in the room, and although in hindsight he wishes he turned the light on so that the video was available, he did not do this as he did not want to further disturb ALV's roommate, who was trying to sleep in the other bed in the room. For God's sake, yeah, you're gonna freaking torture her and, punch the person in the face, but you care about the other person sleeping. Wow. I6 denied seeing or hearing a hit to ALV. Of course they did. ALAB1 denied that she had hit ALV. She previously watched the video footage and agreed that it appeared as if she did, but she stated that the whole time she was trying to redirect ALV from hitting her own face. Oh, for the love of God, really? Really? It only looked like I hit her, but I was just protecting her. Honey, a grab and a punch do not look remotely alike, okay? My God, how stupid do you think people are? Moving on, described that ALV was hitting herself and others. Evidence of this was not clear in the video footage. In other words, she's full of shit. ALAB1 said she did not make contact with ALV's face, in spite of the fact that, the two other people said she did, and the video shows she did. And that, don't trust your lying eyes, trust me, defense. My God. And that she was unaware of making contact at all. ALAB1 said that so much was going on at the time. Oh, fucking spare me, princess. Spare me. I7 said that she had been in and out of the room that night, as video shows. I7 said she was unaware of any restraint occurring and had not seen or heard hitting of ALV. Of course not. She knows nothing? She saw nothing? Right. I7 said she did see ALAB1 push ALV's arm off of ALAB1's clothing, which ALV had told of. 7 did demonstration of how this occurred, and it appeared this investigator as a motion that could be described by ALV as being hit. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? See, this is why we need people who actually know what the fuck they're doing in these settings, and don't set people who have no experience in fucking healthcare or have a brain cell. My God. You're judging these situations. If you can't tell the fucking difference between a push and a punch to the face, I don't know what to tell you, but you are in the wrong line of business if you're trying to judge this particular case. Also in the video, ALV loudly says, ow, after ALB1 says, let go of my shirt. Oh, so we're gonna blame the victim now. Oh, of course we are. Us disabled, we need to be controlled, alright? God forbid, we fight back after, you punch us in the face. Based on the totality of the evidence, most particularly the video footage, it appears more likely than not that ALAB1's action of moving her hand lowered ALV was an application of physical force to cause pain. ALV said she was hurt by it, and she had a clear verbal response to the action, and appears to make a clear skin-to-skin noise. And also, I5 said that clearly ALAB1 made contact with ALV's face. Thank you. At least somebody who was viewing it has some kind of comprehensive common sense. Conclusion. Based on the information by the investigator, there is sufficient evidence to conclude that ALV is a victim of abuse as it is defined by MGI C19 and or 118 CMR by ALAB1. Therefore, the investigators were substantiated for DPPC case number 141700. When there are multiple ALABs and allegations are sustained on some of them, but not others, explain, blah. And they blacked all those out, of course. Okay. It does not appear the abuse report constitutes a malicious false report. Protective service actions are taken or recommended, required when an abuse is substantiation. In all substantiated cases, the agency providing protective services to the ALV should ensure that ALV is provided with access to therapeutic supports that are appropriate to ALV's individual situation and needs. ALAB1 and I6 were removed from the schedule during the course of the investigation. Both should receive appropriate disciplinary action from the agency. They should be fucking fired. Are you kidding me? Let me guess, they got a slap on the wrist and was sent back to work the next day. Additional findings of risk. At times during the incident, staff stand in the doorway and prohibit LAV from leaving. LAV's program description directs to do this. They also put hands on her, overcoming her resistance, and escort her to her bed. Staff call this action a supportive guide. Really? Really? I'm just going to drag you to your bed like a fucking abuser. But we're being supportive. You don't understand. I don't understand my ass. Seriously? Because I have seen a lot in my life, okay? Including people who did have mental health issues in nursing homes that, my mom worked in when I was a child. And if you call dragging someone back to their room a freaking supportive guide, in which case you made contact with your fist to their face, I got a river in Egypt I can sell you. ALV is clearly emotionally upset throughout this incident, and the actions of most staff do not appear in any way calming or supportive. Thank you. They move quickly to restraint and supportive guide. When ALV's program description describes the least restrictive measures should always be used first, and the staff should remain calm and not show frustration when working with her. In addition, the program directs that when ALV drops to the floor or refuses to leave a location, she should be given verbal redirection every 10 minutes. Further, it was unclear from viewing the video that the exact ways in which ALV became aggressive and was hitting staff on her or herself. In other words, they're concluding that yes, it could possibly have been self-defense against these psychopaths. The agency depends on video surveillance to support direct care staff in their application of complex behavioral treatment programs. The video works even at night, so as long as there is an ambient light. Although no one suggested that the lights were intentionally turned off during this behavioral episode, it remains a possibility. At times, ALV is alone in her darkened bedroom with 2 male staff, even though female staff are on duty. Oh my God. The agency should review the action of these staff to ensure that they are keeping with the safety care program they utilize. The agency and DDS should also review whether these staff actions and expectations are in keeping with the state and federal guidelines governing restraint and seclusion. Obviously, they are not. But remember, the JRC is above the law because their courts bend over backwards to protect them, and so does our fucking federal government. Yeah. So all they ever get, if anything, is a slap on the wrist. It's disgusting. Now look at what they've decided. Does this sound reasonable to you? Treatment staff should review the incident and ensure that the involved staff are trained or retrained as appropriate. That's what you suggest. The staff punched one of the residents in the face. It is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it happened. And your solution is to just retrain them? If that happened out in my state, at any of these facilities here, that person would be fired, their certification revoked, and they would not be able to work in a healthcare setting, even being so much as a janitor. Really? Really, Massachusetts? But you're progressive, right? The agency should review the issue of lights going out during a behavioral incident, retrain or discipline staff as necessary. Oh, for the love of God. You all focus on the things that do not matter. Paperwork. Who turned the light off? What about the fact that a staff punched a resident in the face? Shouldn't that be the focus here? My God. The agency should review policies on which staff work with students in their bedrooms, keeping gender appropriate staff whenever possible. Okay, that's all fine and good, but when are we going to focus on the fact that, this staff punched a resident in the face, proven with video evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt, and yet you are going to allow them to continue to stay there so they can do it again? Whatever happened to zero tolerance policy? Why is it that they are allowed to do this? That's my question. So to wrap up this video this morning, folks, what we have is an incident where the abuse of a resident of this school is clearly proven. Clearly proven. And instead of, at the very least, having the staff member that punched the resident in the face be fired immediately, the solution is to give them a slap on the wrist and tell them, oh, it's all right. It's all right. It was an accident. It wasn't. It clearly wasn't. So we're just going to give you more training, and we're going to move you on to another resident, putting that resident at risk. It's insane, folks. It is absolutely insane. And that would not be tolerated at any other place I have ever worked with. And I've worked with a lot of operating centers, okay? Easter Seals, ARC, Judifine, Nova Center. I've worked with a lot of them. And I've worked with group homes. And never once in this entire state have I seen a situation that happens like this where the staff was not fired immediately. Immediately. This is insane. It's insane. And yet, our federal government, who has access to all the same documents we go over on this channel, have decided, no, it's entirely okay that these kids are being tortured and abused and get no sort of justice at all, no autonomy, no privacy. Oh no, that's perfectly fine and dandy to them. This is why we need to be heard. Because, folks, if you think that with our federal government, the D.C. Circuit Court protecting them, that these practices won't spread, I had news for you. And on that horrifying note, we're going to go ahead and close out this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.